History has always been a way for humanity to understand itself. Through the study of the past, we seek meaning, patterns, and lessons for the future. But in the modern world, some philosophers argue that history, as we know it, is coming to an end. Are we entering the era of post-history, where traditional narratives no longer apply? Today we explore the problem of the meaning of history and the concept of post-history in modern philosophical discussions. For centuries, history was seen as a linear progression, a story of human development, from primitive societies to advanced civilizations. Thinkers like Hegel believed that history had a purpose, the realization of freedom and reason. This view gave meaning to human struggles, suggesting that every event was part of a greater plan. But this traditional view has been challenged. In the 20th century, events like world wars shattered the idea of inevitable progress. Philosophers like Walter Benjamin argued that history is not a straight line, but a series of catastrophes, where the victors write the narrative, and the voices of oppressed are often silenced.
In the late 20th century, philosopher Francis Fukuyama famously declared the end of the history. He argued that with the fall of communism and triumph of liberal democracy, humanity had reached the final stage of political development. But what does this mean for the meaning of history? Some thinkers like Jane Baudrillard take this idea further. They argue that we are now living in a state of post-history, where traditional historical narratives no longer apply. In a world dominated by technology, media, and consumer culture, the past becomes a series of images and simulations, disconnected from any deeper meaning. For example, social media platforms like Instagram and TikTok created a constant flow of information, where the past is quickly forgotten and the present is reduced to a series of fleeting moments. In this context, can history still provide meaning, or has it become just another product to consume? Today, we face a crisis of meaning in history. On one hand, globalization and technology have connected us like never before, creating a shared human experience. On the other hand, this interconnectedness has also led to a fragmentation and uncertainty. Philosophers like Zygmunt Bauman described our era as liquid modernity, where traditional structures like nation-states, religions, and even historical narratives are dissolving. In this fluid world, it becomes harder to find a coherent story that gives meaning to our lives. For example, climate change challenges the idea of progress. If history is the story of human development, what does it mean when that development threatens the very survival of our planet? Similarly, the rise of artificial intelligence raises questions about the future of humanity. Will we remain the authors of our history, or will machines take over?
So how can we reimagine history in the post-historical era? Some philosophers suggest that we need new narratives, ones that embrace complexity, diversity, and uncertainty. Thinkers like Dipesh Chakrabarty argue for a planetary history, which considers not just human events, but also the role of nature and the environment. This approach challenges the anthropocentric view of history, reminding us that we are part of a larger ecosystem. Others, like Donna Haraway, propose the idea of staying with the trouble instead of seeking grand narratives. We should focus on local, interconnected stories that reflect the messy reality of our world. In this sense, history is not over, it is evolving. The challenge is to find meaning in a world that is constantly changing, where the past, present, and future are more interconnected than ever. The problems of the meaning of history and the concept of post-history remind us that history is not just about the past. It is about how we understand ourselves and our place. In a time of rapid change and uncertainty, the study of history becomes more important than ever. It challenges us to ask difficult questions. Who are we? Where are we going? And what kind of future do we want to create? As we navigate the complexities of the modern world, let us remember that history is not just a record of what was happy. It's a tool for understanding, reflection, and action. The end of history is not the end of meaning. It's an invitation to create new stories, new connections, and new possibilities.